Long time no see. I'm alive. Don't worry. I know I have not been posting at all recently, honestly, and the most recent video that I posted was filmed weeks prior. I just hadn't gotten around to posting it, and I just wanted to sit down with you guys, chat, kind of update you guys, and be honestly super open and transparent, because I spoke a little bit in my last vlog about kind of like my mental health, but I feel like I was very vague. I didn't go into a lot of detail, and I do have some updates. I did go to the doctor. I am officially medicated, which is something that I have always been so afraid to do. I never thought I would do it. I've always had, I don't know if medication anxiety is a thing or that's a term that I'm just completely making up myself, but whether it's a thing or not, I have it. You cannot tell me when I take a new medication, you cannot convince me that I'm not gonna, you can't. I feel like my body's just gonna be like, what's this? Not be okay with it, and something bad's gonna happen. I don't know. But I did reach out, went to the doctor. They had me do like these questionnaires. All of my neighbors are mowing. That happens a lot. You probably can't even hear it, but I'm just gonna preface this by saying that just in case you can. I did all the questionnaires. Based off of the questionnaires, I have scored high for bipolar and depression, and then she said I scored moderate for anxiety. I personally think my anxiety was more heightened back when I was working outside of the home, and I feel like it's just not as bad with me working in the comfort of my own home. Social anxiety and things like that, that's just like a really big trigger for me. I'm gonna tell you guys all the details, including the medication that she prescribed me. So I'm taking Lamotrigine. It's also, the brand name is lamictal, I think is how you say it. She started me on 25 milligrams and we're slowly titrating up. I actually already have went up. She kind of had me do it a little early because I did end up still going into a deep depression here recently. And so technically I'm taking 37.5 milligrams right now because I was like a little afraid to just go ahead and double it. Anyways, please don't tell me any horror stories about this particular medication. You can definitely comment if you're gonna say it changed your life and you love it so much and it helped you. If you've taken this and you have gotten the rash, and if you've taken this, you know what the rash is. I don't want any horror stories or telling me how bad the rash was, okay? But you can tell me what the first like signs were. Like, did you have flu-like symptoms and stuff like that, or did you literally just spot a rash on your body? Because I would like to kind of know that information, but I don't need any horror stories. I was convinced the first pill I took, I was about to be covered in a rash when I woke up the next day. I take it at night because they said that it can make you sleepy. I have been sleeping really, really well. The first couple nights I took it, it did kind of just knock me out. I don't feel like it necessarily just knocks me out now, but I sleep well and all throughout the night. I have been having more dreams than normal, but I haven't been having nightmares or anything, which I know with a lot of like medication for different mental health issues can give you nightmares. I haven't had nightmares, okay? Just vivid dreams. So like, I'm okay with that. That's fine. If I'm all over the place, like I'm gonna be all over the place, period. That's just it. So I have a follow-up with her, I think next week. And then I actually have my first appointment with a psychologist in June. And so I have to have like a few sessions with her to get an official diagnosis, whatever she ends up diagnosing me with. So back to the medicine. The medicine is a mood stabilizer. She didn't want to go ahead and put me on like a depression, anxiety medication. What are they called? SSRIs? Is that what I think? Because if you do have bipolar, if you do have a mood disorder, those kind of medications can like throw you into a manic state, or they can like make things worse. So when they suspect the mood disorder, they start you on mood stabilizers first. She said this may be all that I need. She may have to add in another medication later on top of this. We're just kind of working with it. So far, I've only been on it a couple of weeks and I'm still titrating up. So I know I'm not at the therapeutic dose yet. I do feel like I've noticed a difference in just my overall mood. I feel like I've been more mellow and chill about things. I have a lot of things going on in my life right now that I could so easily freak out about right now. We're not gonna go into that. And I feel like I'm not freaking out as much as I usually would. So I mean, that's good. Is it a placebo effect? I don't know, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? Don't really care if it's a placebo effect. No side effects other than the first couple days I had headaches, and that's it. So hopefully we're good. I just want to talk about that and be transparent about it, because I feel like, especially as a Christian A lot of people, including myself, I felt some type of way about going to the doctor, and it's insane. Literally, my pastor has preached on this multiple times about the fact that you are no less of a Christian if you seek out help. And so I don't know why I felt any type of way about it, but I got to a point where I hit a wall and I was like, I can't live like this anymore. It's affecting my daily life. To kind of explain it to you guys, I know I told you in the last video, I'm like, I have PMDD. And I'm not saying that I don't have that, but I knew that it was more than that because it didn't always sync up with my cycle. It wasn't like, oh, I was feeling like sad and depressed always right before my period started. I just realized it didn't always sync up. So what happens to me is I'm in this endless cycle. I will get so low, and it's gotten more frequent lately and worse. The lows have been lower. I will just stop in every aspect of the word. I will stop filming. I will not really be taking care of the house. I will literally only be keeping my children alive, like feeding my children, bathing my children, the things that I absolutely have to do. But if I feel like it's something I don't have to do, filming, cleaning, like I just feel bad for Josh sometimes. He just comes in, takes over, picks up the slack, which like I understand that's what he's supposed to do, but that's what a good husband is supposed to do. But anyways, I will be so low that I will set myself back. So what happens is whenever I'm down here and then I come back up and I enter like a manic state, I'm just playing catch up. And it's just an endless cycle. It's an endless cycle of that, and it's so exhausting. And if you've dealt with it, then I don't even have to explain this to you. If you notice this in yourself and you haven't talked to a doctor about it, I highly recommend it, because I wish that I hadn't waited as long as I did and just lived that way when I didn't have to. That is kind of just an explanation of how I feel most of the time. And so anytime that I have kind of just like not posted as much or something, I was probably at a low, and I could not make myself pick up the camera. I just couldn't do it. That's why you guys haven't heard from me recently, because I have been having so many lows and it's just been a lot. And she told me that lots of factors can make things worse. She said that, you know, with my parents both passing, with everything I'm trying to navigate with Myles, it can really contribute to it. Ever since the wedding, everything has been so tight, more than tight. Like, we have been struggling. Just all of those, everything at once, she said, definitely could contribute to me having more depressive episodes and it just like being worse. But circling back to it being okay to get help, I did pull up some Bible verses and I wanted to reference some of those for you guys, just if you were feeling the way that I felt and what like slowed me down from going to the doctor, because you can be delivered from anxiety, depression. That is a possibility, and I have friends who have been, right? Never feel like, well, okay, I'm failing because I am seeking out help from a doctor and I didn't pray enough, or I'm not trusting God enough, because I fully feel like I'm being obedient to God right now and that I'm doing what He wants me to do. I feel in every way like this was the right decision. It kind of fell into my lap, if I'm being honest. I wasn't even super duper seeking it out. I was able to reach out to someone through my church. And so my doctor, I actually know my doctor from church. So one thing that I read says, many heroes of the Bible wrestled with despair, anxiety, and feeling overwhelmed. David cried out in the Psalms, feeling abandoned and terrified, Psalm 13. Elijah once asked God to let him die because he was so exhausted and hopeless, 1 Kings 19. If you guys want to reference these. Job grieved deeply and struggled to make sense of his suffering. So the Bible shows that struggle is a part of the human experience, and it's not a sin to feel depressed or anxious. So there should be no guilt attached to that. And I feel like a lot of people do have guilt attached to it. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So God's word, prayer, and spirit help heal and restore our thought patterns over time. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's not an instant thing. It is a journey, and sometimes it's a long journey. Sometimes it's not, okay? It is all in God's timing. John 14:27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. God offers peace beyond circumstances. And biblical peace isn't the absence of problems. It's God's steady presence in the middle of those problems. That's something that a lot of people struggle with, because just because you are a follower of Christ does not mean that you are going to have no problems and everything is just going to be on easy mode. If anything, it's the opposite, and you will experience spiritual attacks. Like, we have definitely felt that. That's a part of the journey. That's a part of it. The enemy is not going to attack or be worried about someone who is not a threat to him, right? He's not. If you are living for the world and sin, he has nothing to worry about. He's not worried about you, right? When you are following Christ, he gets a little worried, okay? He gets a lot worried. Galatians 6:2, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And I love this one because this one is about community, which I have really found my people in my community here very recently. And I think that was a very big thing that I lacked. And honestly, looking back, I know that the enemy was working so hard to isolate me, and he was doing it, okay? Successful. I already have the social anxiety, so it's not really that hard to convince me to not show up to things, not be social, not want to be around people. Easy target right here for that situation. But God encourages support and not shame. We were not meant to walk in these things alone. That's not how it was meant to be. And struggles with mental health are not meant to be faced alone. And I felt very led to share and be open because I know that so many of you guys can relate. I just know that. I feel like it's so much more common than people realize. I mean, even when I was chatting with some friends from church, a couple of them immediately said that they're either on medication or they've been on medication. I would have never known, I would have never known. And that's why I've just really realized it is so important and beneficial to open up and share and have that community, because it makes a huge difference. What even is that? I hear a weed eater now, y'all. Back to what I was saying. So God created us with bodies, minds, and souls. And all of those are important to him, right? Not just your body. I guess your mind is a part of your body. What I'm getting at, if you have pneumonia, you take antibiotics, right? If you have diabetes, you take insulin. If our brain chemistry is struggling, taking medication for that is no different. It's part of taking care of God's creation, our bodies. That is, we are taking care of ourselves, which we are called to take care of ourselves, our bodies. I found this, so 1 Timothy 5:23, Paul even advises Timothy to take a little wine for his stomach issues. So that shows that physical remedies were seen as appropriate alongside spiritual faith. There's nowhere in the Bible that says, y'all, girl, I can't focus. I know y'all hear that because that's louder. And Myles is being so quiet right now. Myles is home, y'all, in his room being quiet. I should have known. Okay, I think they're done. The point that I was trying to make is that faith and wisdom work together, not against each other. Again, something that I had to learn. 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So weakness is not failure. It's actually where God's strength shows up. Asking for help, including medical help, okay, is not a betrayal of your faith. Another point I want to make is that shame is never from God. Romans 8:1 says there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. So Jesus came to lift burdens, not add them. And like I said, mental health struggles are heavy enough without the guilt. So there's no reason to feel guilty. Medication, therapy, rest, prayer, community, all of these things are gifts from a loving God, okay? And it is okay to utilize the help, okay? God wants to see you whole. He wants to see you healed. He doesn't want you to stay in it. I'm not the best with my words, y'all. I try. But I just kind of wanted to be open about everything that I'm going through and also kind of share my thoughts from a Christian viewpoint. Because like I said, mental health in the Christian world can kind of be, I don't know, controversial for no reason. And I never want any of you guys to feel alone. And I'm usually pretty transparent with you guys, but sometimes I can be vague. And I feel like on this topic, I have been a little vague. I'm going to keep you guys updated. I'm going to let you guys know, keep you updated on how the medication's going. And once I do go and see the psychologist, I'll keep you guys updated about my diagnosis and all of that. But I just kind of wanted you guys to know where I've been and what's been going on, and I will be posting regularly. I am hoping that the medication just continues to keep me regulated and I don't fall into this valley where I have no desire to do anything, and then I set myself back, because that's exactly what's happening or happened, and I feel like I'm now playing catch up. But I do think it's regulated me, because I don't feel low, but I also don't feel manic and wild right now. I've seen some people say that they got so used to years and years of like this roller coaster, that once they were on medication and they were like level, right, that it almost felt boring. They're like, this is low-key kind of boring. And I feel like that's gonna be me, but like, listen, I will be bored. I will be bored, okay? I hope I'm not forgetting anything right now. I'm gonna shout out Love and Faith. This is a shirt that you guys have not seen before, okay? Waymaker, Miracle Worker, Promise Keeper, Light in the Darkness. I get all my Christian shirts from them, and I feel like I show them to you guys, but I like haven't been on here. I have not been able to shout them out. I've just been like itching to. They're linked down below. I always have a discount code for you. For my prayer warriors on here, I would love for you to keep me in your prayers, that this medication helps me, regulates me, doesn't harm me. That's what I have Josh praying for, because I was literally so scared of getting this. It's Steven Johnson syndrome that you can get. Don't look it up. I looked it up, so we're just keeping an eye on it. But if you guys have any prayer requests, leave them in the comments, and I will add you guys to my prayer list as well. I hope that you guys got something out of this, even if it's just feeling like you're not alone. I'm gonna end this here. They're still weed eating. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Share this video, please. I'm really trying to like get a boost, and I haven't asked you guys to do that in a while, but it is so helpful whenever you share my videos and share them on like Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and things like that. Super easy, and it helps me out a ton. Anyways, love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye guys.